this class. All right. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We are happy to be here with Joe from Siser. We're going to learn a cool little vinyl class today. I just wanted to say that if you want to take another class with Joe, we have some more classes on michaels.com/classes. So feel free to go over there and sign up for all his other classes if you enjoyed today. And this class is also being recorded. So if you would like to see this class again, you're welcome to see it on our Michaels YouTube page or on michaels.com/classes the day after the class. And with that, I'm gonna hand it over to Joe.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Hi, everyone. Star waving. Let us know in the chat group there. You can let us know where you're watching from. I always like to know where the viewers are watching from. Make sure you have that checked from everyone or to everyone so we can all see. Keep chiming in where you're watching from and what kind of projects you have going on this month. I always like to hear any Siser projects, any of that stuff. Feel free to chime in. There they are. Okay, we have them from all over the place. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I see a Michigan in there, fellow Michigander, that's right. We have a beautiful day today here in the lovely Detroit. I'm here in my basement, but it is very beautiful outside. Welcome to October. We had a fun project last week, which is up on the Michaels YouTube channel that you can watch, where I decorated some awesome wood plaques. It is Halloween themed that I decorated with heat transfer vinyl. And I used the craft heat press that I'll be using today. So I want to also start this off. Well, first off, you know, if for those that are return customers to my classes, you know what my first lesson always is. And that is how to properly pronounce Siser. So say it with me, Siser. That's right. That's the first lesson of the day. You guys got it right. Most important of all. Okay, so my question to you before we really begin is for those parents or maybe those that participate, is Halloween happening in 2020? I need to know. It's kind of driving me mad. Do I have to take out a second mortgage to get my candy for today or this year? I don't know because it's so expensive and I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of candy if kids are not going out. Chime in, let me know. I'm still going to be doing the Halloween theme. We're very, very proud of Halloween here in Michigan, that's for sure. But let us know if Halloween is still going to be happening in 2020. Which leads us to what we're going to be doing today. The original idea was talking about a new product, which we're going to be talking about, but Catherine, who's not here for this class, she kind of applied some pressure to me, pun intended, to do a little pseudo costume with both a face mask and a t-shirt, combining an image together. So I don't think you guys will have any problem with me adding another project to it. But the main focus, and if you guys signed up, you saw what the class was going to be about. And I want to introduce, for those that have never seen this product before, but Michaels now carries it in 4 amazing colors. But I'm going to be showing you the brand new Siser Sparkle heat transfer vinyl. So it's, again, I'm sorry, I'm in my basement, but what the Siser Sparkle is it is a glitter heat transfer vinyl, but it is a smooth, glittery heat transfer vinyl. So how many people have used the Siser Sparkle before? Again, it is a smooth, brand new product. It is layerable, and that's what we're going to be showing today. Very, very unique. So comes at Michaels, it comes in 4 awesome colors. So we're going to be dealing with Siser Sparkle Gold, Red, White, and Silver. So these 4 colors are available. So that's what I did for this garment, which now this design right here is going to be my trick-or-treat bag that I'm going to make. That's going to go along with the costume that I'll whip up afterwards. So Michaels also has these awesome canvas tote bags that they hooked me up with. That's what I'll be decorating with the same image. Now, on top of that, So we have a couple people have used the Sparkle. Awesome. I want to also talk about a brand new edition that Michael's store now has. So that image that I'm going to be doing today is actually a pre-made design. So you can get your hands on that. It's already a done artwork that comes, SVG file that comes on these art book packs. So this right here is the Siser Clip Art Book Pack, which when you open it up, shows you all the different SVG files that are available on these art book packs. So it's very, very cool. So I am going to be using, where did it go? Okay, so this guy down here, the ghost right here. These are manipulatable, if that's a word. You can change these around. This is the holiday pack, which is fun for what's coming up because we have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all sorts of holidays around that time. Then we have the special occasions art book pack that has a ton of other fun, awesome SVG files that go over all sorts of fun special occasions. And we have one that is all based around sports. So in it, like all these files are interchangeable. So they come in multicolor, single color, they come layered, and you can absolutely change them all around. So you can change the color scheme to them if you're printing them out. You can add things to them, which is what we did, or what I did for this file that I'm going to do today. And all I did was really, the only thing I changed was that I added the text at the bottom. So I typed in trick or treat, and I added that to go with it. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to be able to do. They're already good to go. So if you have a silhouette, if you have a cricket, you can use these. They're already plug and play. And then all you got to do is manipulate them however you want. And they are for either personal or commercial usage. So that's what you get when you get these clip art book packs. Okay? So we're going to cruise along. And if you guys have any questions along the way, please feel free to chime in. Stacy's going to cut me off as we go along. And hopefully I answer any questions. That's the most important thing. I want to make sure we have that done. So again, I'm going to be using the Siser Craft Heat Press, which is this awesome tool that I have right here. Craft Heat Press is a very, very unique way of decorating your garment. We're super excited about this. I actually still have the remnants of the wood plaques on my lower platen here. So yes, if you do deal with wood, it is going to shed a little bit. Just clean that off. Make sure you protect your upper platen. This is a 9x12 craft heat press. It's awesome, awesome. If you use heat transfer vinyl a lot, it has the pressure knob on it. I have it obviously set very, very high with the, or very low on the pressure, I should say, because I was doing these plaques. So all I'm going to do is over the center knob, I'm going to increase my pressure. You want to make sure that it clamps closed. We'll get there. All right, so there we go. Now we're back to where we want to be. Up on the top is my display. If we can switch to the camera, I can show that real fast. Right up here where I'm pointing is my display. When I go into my mode, I can set and adjust my time, or I mean my temperature first, and that's in Fahrenheit. You press mode again, it's going to set your time, the countdown clock, in seconds. Press it one more time, and it's going to go back to the main, and it's going to now allow the heat press to warm up. So now it's going to go through its process. But meanwhile, what you'll do is you're going to cut and weed your samples. So I'm using all 4 samples of the Siser Sparkle today. What's awesome about this product is it's very thin for a glittery product. And not only that, but it has a sticky backing. So for those that have ever used Siser Easy Weed, you know that it has that sticky backing, which allows you to have an easy weeding experience, because if anything lifts up, you can lay it back down. But what I want to show you is, as you can tell, I mean, with those kind of carriers, there's a little bit of resistance. It's not bad. But when you have your heat press on, all you have to do is warm up your lower platen for a few seconds, and you can do this with the Siser Sparkle. And this is going to speed up your weeding process. So now you can take your cut piece, lay it on that lower platen, and then simply pull the rest away with ease. So that's what I really, really love about the Siser Sparkle, is that it does have all those same attributes as the Easy Weed family.
Hey, Joe, we have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So Marcia asks, how do you know what pressure is enough?
That's a great question. And again, it's very, I guess it's up to the user to kind of dictate that with this. It obviously is a lot easier to tell than if you were using a home iron or an easy press, because those are really up to you as a person to hold those presses down. With this, it's really going to be up to you, knowing that the way I tell people is, like, if you can close it easily with one hand, then you definitely have light pressure. If you have to actually feel a little bit of resistance to close it, I know that when I do that and I hear that sound that has that very, very like harsh pop when it opens up, that my pressure is very firm. Now, another thing that's going to dictate your pressure overall is the actual textile you put on here. So if I put just a regular t-shirt like I'll press today, and then pressing this canvas tote bag, I know that this tote bag is thicker than the cotton t-shirt I'm pressing. So that thick material on here that's already set to a high pressure is going to make it even more of an intense pressure. So always what I recommend to people is gauge your pressure when the garment or the textile is on the heat press. So once it's on the heat press, and then when you close it, start adjusting your pressure knob. And again, by turning it clockwise, you're increasing the pressure. So what that's doing is it's lowering this upper platen. And by turning counterclockwise, it's actually raising it up. So it's actually going to decrease your pressure. So I always recommend doing it once you have the garment on the actual lower platen. Does that help answer the question?
Yeah, I think that's great. And then
Awesome.
Lana asks, what temperature do you set it at?
That's another great question. So for Siser Sparkle, and there you go, as you can see how easy that was to lift that up. I just always have to showcase that. So the Sparkle, another easy way to remember that is, again, if you're used to Siser Easy Weed, 305 degrees is our magic number for that product line. That's exactly where you're going to be at for the Sparkle. If you notice in the beginning, and some of you are like, but I saw 310 on your heat press. That's because I'm going to be mixing medias later on for the Halloween. When you're mixing with other products and you're trying to use, say you want to use Siser Sparkle and say you want to use Siser regular glitter. Now regular glitter is recommended to be pressed at 320 degrees. Now if you were combining the two on the same garment, one is 305 and one is 320, what I always recommend is splitting that difference in the temperature. So this way you don't need to toggle from one temperature and then adjust it to the higher temperature. I hope that makes sense. You could just find a middle ground. So I stuck with 310 degrees. But normally if you're just using Sparkle on its own, 305 degrees is perfect.
Melinda has a great follow-up question. What
Sure.
happens if you use the wrong temperature?
Well, it depends on how wrong we're talking. If you press at 320 degrees for the Siser Sparkle, it's not going to hurt anything. The only thing you want to make sure that you are cautious about is the garment itself. Because for those that have ever dealt with polyester garments, the higher the temperature, the more chance that you're going to cause dye migration. So the dye migration is what happens when high heat hits it. Now, if you're dealing with 100% cotton and say you're at 320 degrees because you were using Siser Sparkle first, and then your next project, you turned on your heat press and it was at 320, but you were applying Siser Easy Weed or the Sparkle, Is it going to harm it because the temperature is higher? No, that's not going to harm the product itself. Now, if you're up to 400 degrees, because maybe you're doing something with sublimation, which is a whole nother topic, if you were doing that and then you pressed any of the Siser heat transfer vinyls, then you're gonna run into some issues. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great. And then we just have one more question.
Sure, keep them coming. I love it.
Seema asks, when you cut the vinyl, do you cut it face down or face up?
Great question. Now, with all of our heat transfer vinyls that are just solid heat transfer vinyls that you can get on Michael's outside of, you guys are watching that? I'm sorry, I love that so much. When you are working with our solid vinyls like our Easy Weed, Sparkle, Glitter, products like that, that come with the shiny carrier and then they have a little bit more of a dull side, you're always going to cut these mirrored. So when you lay this down on your vinyl cutter, with all of our products, I know it's going to be hard to tell maybe off of this camera or when you're looking at it, but there is most certainly going to be a shiny side to the vinyl, and then there's going to be a duller side. When you load it up on your vinyl cutter, you're always going to lay the shiny side facing down and the dull side facing up. And what you're doing is you're actually cutting mirrored on the adhesive side. So this side that you're seeing right here is actually adhesive, so that when the heat activates it, this is what's sticking onto the garment. So you're going to cut in reverse or mirrored onto the dull side of your transfer on your vinyl cutter. So then it'll take you to this point, what we're doing right now, where I'm weeding it, and I know this is a bad example. Let's say this, because this could feasibly work either way. But this, you're looking at it backwards. You see what I'm saying? So when I go to lay it down on my garment, I'm going to read it correctly. So that's a way to remember that. Is that good?
Yep, thanks.
Perfect. Great questions. Please keep them coming if you need. All right. So we have 4 of the Siser Sparkle colors, all weeded, cut. We are going to decorate this awesome canvas trick-or-treat bag now. Again, if you're tuning in right now, my question was, is Halloween happening in 2020? You guys let me know. I'm so confused and very, very conflicted about this because I love talking about Halloween. I love showing decorative things like this. But if it's not happening, it's going to bum me out. But I get it. I get it. We're staying safe. All right. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to adjust my pressure. I could tell that my pressure was a little bit too high. So I'm actually reversing this counterclockwise. So I'm just turning that a couple clicks, not a whole lot. You don't need to go too much. But see, now for me, if I close it like that, that's a light pressure. So I might need to bring it back up a little bit more. Okay, so that's about as good as it can get, I think, for that. You do want to gauge this, though. I know it's still kind of a lot of variables to it, but you do want to just gauge that by making sure that, number one, you have a flat surface. As you can tell, I took the handles of this bag, made sure they were off the lower platen, as flat as it can be. The pillow on your lower platen is going to help cushion to make sure it gets that flat, even pressure. What I've already heard from some people that have gotten this heat press is they've actually overdone it on increasing the pressure on this knob here. There is no reason that you should ever get to the point of turning this all the way until it's completely full pressure and then try to close it. That is all it's asking is a recipe for disaster, I should say, for your heat press itself. Always gauge it when you have the substrate on there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with one layer at a time. And so the surface area you have, as I mentioned earlier, is 9 by 12. So this image I have today, I already had pre-cut and I had it cut for the size of a t-shirt. So I'm really hoping it actually fits on this. What I'm going to do, and what's beautiful about the sparkle, and I hope it works, cover sheet I'm using is just regular parchment paper. That's what we recommend. If you have that, it's going to protect your upper platen. But with the sparkle, you should be able to, with right pressure, with 1 second, and peel hot. So that's the other beautiful thing about the Siser Sparkle, that when you're working with it and you're layering it, you can do the 1 second tack as long as your pressure is good. So now what I love about this product is I'm going to layer directly on top of my underbase. So I'm going to lay the Siser Sparkle Silver on top of the white that I just laid down. Do the exact same thing. Now remember, this is something you certainly cannot do with regular Siser glitter heat transfer vinyl. So the rough surface, the sandpaper finish, you do not want to layer anything on top of that. 1 second tack, hot peel. Okay, so now I have to shift my bag a little bit. Again, you want to make sure you still have as much even pressure as you can possibly get.
While you're doing that, Joe, we have some people that have opinions on if Halloween is happening.
Okay, what do we say?
R says yes, it is happening.
It is?
Yes, and Susan says that it depends on the town. She's in Iowa, and that small towns, yes, larger towns, not so much. And trunk or treats are more a thing this year.
Trunk or treats, I have heard that. All right, okay, that gives me a little hope. Thank you for chiming in on that topic. Okay, down goes the Siser Gold Sparkle. 1 second, nope, because I didn't have. Very important on the pressure. Hot peel. All right, so I have one last layer that's going up on top of all of this. So 4 colors all layered on top of each other. This is going to be perfect for the trunk or treat. So what I'm going to do, and I always explain this. Now, if you know you're working with the Siser product that you know is a hot peel like we're dealing with today, I know some of you have probably dealt with this in the past, but this carrier sheet of the red sparkle is going over the layer of the silver and the white sparkle up here. Now, I know you've probably dealt with this when you've layered stuff. You probably have pressed it and then you saw that indentation on your lower part of the transfer. That is because this carrier sheet is just getting like an impression into that bottom layer. So if you want to avoid that with any of those products that you can do the 1 second tack, that's all you have to do is tack that down and peel hot. So I already noticed absolutely no impression up here. If I would have pressed it for the full duration, then I would have been in trouble a little bit. Well, it's just because I'm OCD and I would have noticed it. Not other people may have noticed it. Okay, the next part is very, very important because as you can tell, not this entire transfer doesn't fit fully on this lower platen. So I am going to have to press this in 2 steps fully. So I'm going to press it on the bottom half, and then I'm going to shift it down and press it for the full time. So right now I'm tacking this all down for about 13 seconds, which is going to cure each one of those colors. The question that people usually follow up with is, well, can you press it for that long? And if you're double pressing in areas, is it going to harm something? No, it will not harm anything. That's okay if you press areas longer than they need to be. I just always recommend trying to avoid pressing it at a higher temperature that is somewhere in the 360 and above, because then what you're doing is you're essentially burning away the adhesive that's on the transfer itself. So avoid doing that. And once you're good to go, check this out. So what do you think? New trick or treat bag with the Siser Sparkle heat transfer vinyl. Again, all layered on itself in this awesome tote bag. Perfect for the trunk or treat. What do you guys think? Awesome. So you can, there you go. You can kind of see it from that. Like, I just want to show you that real awesome sparkly finish that it has. I know doing these lives and doing these in the basement doesn't always justify it. But yeah, if you can catch that right, these are definitely colors that pop off of that garment. A lot of stuff. Again, the layerability, it's thin, it's soft. It doesn't have that sandpaper finish if you don't want that. It's pretty stretchable, not overly, but like if this was on a t-shirt, it is a lot softer than the regular glitter or lighter. So awesome. So we got the bag done. That was what I wanted to show originally, but now we just added a couple extra projects to it. You want me to do that? I'm gonna do a little quick combination to just show a fun little project that incorporates making your own Halloween costume, which again, Catherine was the one that recommended I do this, obviously in this time. Do we got some yeses?
Yes.
Are we going?
Amber that says yes, and then Angela that says yes with 3 exclamation points.
Awesome. Okay, I knew you would enjoy that. Okay, so to go with the bag, what we want to do, obviously we are going to still be, I'll just say, I know you guys are excited to look at my hands. So I hope Halloween is still happening, but I hope everybody's still going to be safe and still going to be following what we're told by the professionals and the scientists, right? We still need to wear masks when we're around. So Michael's also hooked me up with these awesome reusable face masks that are available for kids and adults. So I'm going to decorate one of these, and they're awesome. They gave me a ton of these face masks. They come in all sorts of different solid colors, and then they have awesome patterns on them already, which indicates that they're sublimated, but you can absolutely still decorate them with Siser heat transfer vinyl. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to accomplish doing something that incorporates a mask design that goes with the shirt. And maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it'll be a failure. That's what we do. But what I did, and it also just goes with the project that I just did right before your eyes, that it was another art book or another file that I got from the holiday art book, which I took, and it's probably gonna be hard to see, but this bottom guy, you see the one with the pumpkin head, and he's got the body shape to it. So what I thought was gonna be cool is I'm gonna take that file and try to do the body on a t-shirt and then do the pumpkin on the mask. So it'd be really awesome if you could pull that off for a kid's outfit. It would be great. I sized it interestingly because I'm working with another, I'm working with a Gildan t-shirt that Michael's hooked me up with, 100% cotton, but it is an adult small. So it's a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna use this adult mask and I'm gonna see if I can get it to where it has the body on the shirt and the mask is the pumpkin head. So, products I'm gonna be using today for this is Siser Easy Weed Black Stretch. Why did I stopped on that? Because I also wanted to tell people real quick, for those that have used the Siser Easy Weed Stretch at Michael's and they saw this milky kind of side to the transfer, and you probably thought, well, is this the side that I cut on? No. So if you've ever used our Easy Weed Stretch at Michael's and you get that off of the roll, it's going to be on the outside of the roll. So when you unroll it, this is the side, this is your carrier. So this is the shiny side that is actually going to be face down. So this matte end is where you're cutting on. So for those that have ever had questions about the Siser Easy Weed Stretch and how they need to set it up, that is what this side is. The milky side is the side that goes down. So I hope that clears that up. Any questions?
Deborah has a question. Do you have to wash the shirt first?
Absolutely not. You can, but I always tell people that if you're doing this for a business, traditionally or really ever, you're not going to wash a garment for somebody else. Now, if this is your garment, if this is yours or somebody in your family or someone close to you that you don't really mind and they don't mind somebody else washing it, go for it. You can do that. But traditionally, people that are selling these things or have their business, they're not going to wash the garment first. Also, be careful when washing. Do not use liquid fabric softener. Do not use bleach. And if you use liquid fabric softener on a garment that you've washed before you apply it, don't use that garment because it's not going to stay. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that was perfect. And
Right
then
on.
Susan has a question. She says, can the sparkle be layered over strip flock?
Absolutely. So strip flock is a layerable product too. I know that could be deceiving for people, but strip flock is a layerable product. So you can layer any Siser product over the strip flock. That's okay. You just need to be careful of the products that are not recommended to have anything layered over them. So there's only a few from Siser that are at Michael's that you can't layer on top of. Regular glitter heat transfer vinyl is one of them, and the other is holographic. So if you've ever used our Siser holographic product, we don't recommend layering anything on top of that. But those products can all be layered on top of products that can be layered on, like strip flock, like sparkle, like easy weed, all those fun ones, right? Great question. So 3 colors I'm going to be using for this project, 3 different products. So I have the Siser Easy Weed Electric Orange, again, the Easy Weed Stretch Black, and then the red Sparkle that we're showing. So I have these all cut. Since all of these are able to be used with the heat press trick, so I'm going to speed up the weeding by just laying my cut piece down.
Marcia asks, do the labels say if they are layerable and the temp to use?
That's an excellent question. I don't know because I don't make the labels. I got to talk with my marketing team. I think they do. Wait. No, I don't think they say it. But you can download the Siser app. Great plug there. A free app you can download on your phone or tablet. We have all of our products in there. So any of the products you get at Michael's, if you want to double check on the whether it's layerable and the cut settings, as well as the heat application instructions, we have all of that information right there on our app. So we try to have some helpful tools to help you guys out. It very well could be on the packaging, and we're constantly changing the packaging. So if it isn't right now, definitely put 2 cents in to make sure that it does get adjusted. Okay, so I am weeding the Easy Weed Stretch Black. I could have done that on the heat press, but I decided to go old school. And people always ask, I add a weed box when I cut my designs or my transfers. It just helps me kind of narrow down the area I'm weeding on, and it actually prevents less waste, especially if you have details on it. So this is the body, and if you ever look at the original file to what I'm using today that's in the art book pack, I had to manipulate the length of the body, so I kind of stretched it out a little bit more. It's normally it stops about here, so I stretched it out so it could take up more of the shirt. You guys already see what I'm going for, right? So we're going to see if that works out. And then I have my transfer of the red Sparkle. Might as well just do this on heat press. I hope this works. I don't know. I whipped this up literally yesterday because the class was only going to be on that one example.
Nicole asked if the press comes with a temperature guide manual.
The press itself doesn't come with a temperature guide manual because it's only the press, right? So you may be using, and I'll forgive you for it, but you might be using other heat transfer vinyls out there that aren't Siser. And this press is still going to be able to be used on them. It doesn't mean that you have to use Siser products, right? But so they might be at a different temperature. I know that there's the other machines that are out there that kind of give you a generalized temperature guide that comes with it, but I can't stress it enough to make sure that you do a little bit of your due diligence to make sure you know what product you're using and making sure you find the actual corresponding specs for that product. I know a lot of them are ballpark around the same temperature, but I just want to avoid you guys having too much waste because a lot of people end up doing that, and obviously no one likes it. So to answer your question, the press by itself does not come with any kind of heat press suggestion for temperature. It's just going to be very generalized on what product you're working on. It does come with a guide with it, so it'll give you the informational guide of everything about the heat press and everything you need to know. So that's most certainly part of it, but yeah, temperatures and stuff like that will be on websites or apps or the tech sheets themselves. So make sure you hang on to the tech sheets when you get a roll of Siser heat transfer vinyl at Michael's, because that'll have the temperature on there. Okay, so I have my face that's going to go over. So the red sparkle is going to layer on top of my Easy Weed Electric Orange. So this is going to be my mask. I'll do that last. First, I'll try to knock out this t-shirt and hope it works out, because this is something that is very, very tricky. And it's important that you kind of pay attention to some of the things to look out for. Obviously, this shirt, you may wear it one time, so you may not have to worry about it too much. But if you're wearing this multiple times, then you definitely want to make sure that you have this properly applied. One thing I'm going to do, it kind of breaks my own rule of how I teach people stuff, but you want to be careful when it comes to applying over the collar of the shirt. So when it comes to the collars are very thick compared to the rest of the shirt. So this may cause uneven pressure. So when you are pressing around the collar, like what we're going to be doing here, you want to make sure that your pressure is increased pretty high, because we want to make sure that lays flush and flat. Now I want to show you, I'm actually going to be setting this up opposite. I know you've seen me load things this way, but this is how you can utilize this heat press the other way. Since my design is going to be more long than it is wide, I'm actually going to use the, I guess what would be the length to be the width now, which is now the 9 inches is the width, 12 inches is the height. So what I'm going to do is line up my first layer, which is the Easy Weed stretch. And I'm going to be, this is going to be interesting, folks. I haven't done this yet, so this is all first time. Okay. It fits perfectly on this heat press. So if I have my pressure set correctly, this should apply. So I'm going to increase my pressure a little bit, because with Siser Easy Weed Stretch, you certainly want to make sure that your pressure is at a firm setting. Use your cover sheet. And you could tack it down for 1 second, but because of that collar, I'm going to take my time with it a little bit and make sure that it does actually get applied before I peel it. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds. I'm at a firm pressure. Oh boy. That, yes, that is awesome. This is going to be a lot of fun. I hope it works out. Got things flying at me. Okay. Now I'm going to try to line up the sparkle. Now the sparkle is going to cause me to apply multiple times. So I have to press this twice. So I'm going up towards the top. I'm going to shift this over just slightly while it's on the heat press. Be very, very cautious about making sure everything is placed correctly before you press one side of it, because once you press the one side of it, and if the other side is not placed correctly, it's going to immediately look weird. You already know. So I think I'm good to go. I have to press this twice. So I'm going to tack that down same as the last one. Couple seconds. Now I'm just going to shift this over because I have to press the other side.
Hey, Joe. Because you're pressing with the collar on the platen, would a pillow help? Is what Sally asked.
A pillow would help. And thank you for calling me out on that. But I didn't want to plug a pillow because I don't think Michael's has pillows just yet. So if you have a pillow, I would normally be using a pillow. Must be somebody that's seen my videos before. But this is a heat press pillow. They're awesome help to achieve pressure. Normally, I would put that pillow around the collar. You're 100% right. But I'm taking this one. Yeah, I'm going against my words, right? So I'm going to see how this lasts. So far, so good. If you have a heat press pillow, use that. All right, we're going to peel hot. Yes. All right. So I only tack those down. Those are my only two colors that are going onto this t-shirt. I still want to make sure that I go back and apply for the full duration. If you have a pillow, use your pillow. If you don't have a pillow, make sure your pressure is set at a firm pressure. So that is going to help. Make sure that that's set. Don't crank it all the way, but make sure it's down at a good pressure. And press this for the full time. I have to do 2 presses. Shift it over and make sure you get everything evenly, even up in this corner, which not only does it have the collar that's going to cause potential uneven pressure, but you're up at the seam of the shoulder, which could also cause uneven pressure. So definitely make sure that you have, you at least keep an eye on that area. Because if you do see lifting over time, you can go back and repress it. It's not necessarily ruined. You just want to make sure that you do go back and tack it again. Okay. I think we're good. All right. So this is part 1. This will work. How cool is that? So I got the Siser Sparkle on there, and that is the Easy Weed Black. So when that t-shirt's on, that should be the head right there. And now we're gonna whip up the mask to go with it. Again, I get it because it is a bigger shirt, but just pretend this is a kid's shirt. Or if you actually take the time to manipulate that file to make it fit better for this. I just kind of did it quickly, but pretending that this was a children's t-shirt, you know, this would fit perfectly over that. And now we're going to try a mask. Now the mask, I am going to use a pillow. I was going to save it for that because these masks are very awesome. I've already pressed one to just test this out at least. So these are reusable, washable masks. Stacy can tell you who the vendor is for these or send you a link. But something you want to remember, and they do come in kid sizes as well. This is an adult size, it's black. They come in all sorts of colors. It's awesome. They have obviously the little like nooks for your nose and your chin. So that's where they're sewn up. This is not going to necessarily lay completely flat on your heat press. So unfortunately, when you work with a really thin product, so of course I had to challenge myself here. When you work with a really thin product like Easy Weed Electric, you want to make sure that your pressure and the surface is as flat as you can get it. Otherwise, it's just not going to lay down flat, and it's probably not going to lay down at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a heat press pillow, which was suggested earlier. And how I'm going to lay this up onto the heat press pillow is I'm actually going to use the corner. I already know that this isn't going to lay completely flat anyways, but I'm going to do my best to make it as taut as I can get it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that as flat as I can on the corner of the heat press pillow, which is going to kind of fill in the area that would kind of be your nose or mouth. So I'm going to decrease the pressure because the heat press pillow is going to cause me to have thicker pressure because it's a thicker product. I want to make sure my pressure is good. I think I'm good there. Again, it's going to be tricky. And if you're using a home iron, maybe this is a prime time to pull out a home iron or your easy press if you also have one of those. I'm going to do my best. Wish me luck. Here it goes.
Would heat transfer tape help to hold it to the pillow? And would heat transfer tape help?
It can. The only problem is these heat press pillows retain a lot of heat. So if you taped it down, the heat that's already on there may cause that heat transfer tape to lift up. You can absolutely do that. That is a possibility. It is also something that is now available at Michael's that we have accessories with, is heat transfer tape. This would be a prime time to be able to do that if you wanted to. I usually say save this when it comes to actually keeping your transfer down. And with a lot of our products, what's great about them is they already have that pressure sensitive backing. So it does allow you to have that tackiness to make that stay in place, but just feel it out if it works for you. Okay, so I'm going to tack this down, but I'm going to press it for a few seconds. And lightly peel away, make sure we don't have edges lifting too much. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, so now what I'm going to do is lay my sparkle transfer directly on top. I mean, you're going to get a little bit of the rippling underneath the Easy Weed Electric, but that's because it's taking the shape of the mask itself. So don't be too discouraged by that. When you put it on your face and stretch it back out, it might even it out a little bit, but unfortunately, it's just kind of how you have to deal with it. I'm going to try to pop this, do the full effect. Sorry, I'm changing. Let's see if this works. Oh no, it's a small. Sorry, folks. Not on my diet right now. Okay. Here we go. Full effect. Feel hot with the sparkle. This is great, right? Okay, let's see if I got it. How cool is that? I mean, on a smaller body, it'll line up a little bit cooler, but the Headless Horseman, pretty sweet.
So cool.
It's an awesome costume. You can make it. Here's the, I know it's probably getting a lot of flash from the light, but you can see the sparkle on there really shining. Not only that, but the Easy Weed Electric already has that pop to it. And then the Easy Weed Stretch I love because it's got a matte finish to it. So it's it'll definitely make the sparkle parts of it really stand out. Again, I always apologize. I'm down in my basement, kind of the ill lit. But the other question, can you put heat transfer vinyl on a mask? If you guys want to see, I did do a class a couple months ago about decorating a mask. You can check that out on the Michaels website. But you can absolutely do that, or the YouTube channel. You can do that with Siser heat transfer vinyl. An image like this, I have absolutely no problem. You're still able to breathe. Try to avoid doing an entire design, but you can absolutely do that. Our products are CPSA certified. So you have no concern of breathing in any kind of problems with, lead-free, phthalate-free, all that fun stuff. So you can absolutely do this with your masks. Again, what's awesome about these masks is they are reusable too. So you can wash them and reuse them over and over again. So yeah, how cool is that? So I have my full getup. Now I'm gonna go trunk or treat. I'm gonna be that weird guy. Just showing you this whole decked out theme. All right, who's with me? Cool. And
Yeah.
even what we did last week, this was what I showed, Halloween themed, with heat transfer vinyl on these wood plaques. It all goes together. So many fun projects. Let's not let 2020 ruin Halloween. I hope this class helped out. I hope it helped spark some ideas. All this stuff you see here is available at Michael's stores, from the heat press, the art book packs, all the heat transfer vinyl, these blanks. So you could definitely get going if you are going to be doing stuff for Halloween coming up, and much, much more coming up. So yeah, any last minute questions, any concerns, anything you want to say before we close it up?
No questions. Everyone loves the design. They say thank you. It looks really cute and good job. Just as a reminder for everyone, this class was recorded. So if you want to go see it again, you can find it at michaels.com/classes or on our YouTube channel. And if you want to take another class with Joe, we have a couple more coming up. So check those out too at michaels.com/classes.
Absolutely. And you guys feel free to follow us, Siser North America too. We got a ton of cool content and stuff that we show. I do a lot of stuff with Michaels all the time. So stay up on what's happening. I want to say thank you to Michaels again for having me on, and everybody that's taking the time out of their day to watch this, even afterwards. Thank you guys so, so much, each and every one of you. I hope you all stay safe and have a wonderful Halloween. I'll talk to you soon.